Sports.
We are Fox. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
Tonight, Blaine Hardy will go for his third victory of the season. Nice night for baseball here in the Motor City. Welcome to Comerica Park. Game 1, three-game series, Detroit Tigers and the visiting Minnesota Twins. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Ron Allen. We are glad to have you with us here. Game 1 in the series against the Twins. Blaine Hardy, Rod will be on the mound tonight for the Tigers. His last outing against the Red Sox, we saw a lot more ground balls.
Well, he did throw a lot of ground balls in that last outing against the Boston Red Sox, but I really love the way that Blaine Hardy's gone about his business since coming into the rotation. Very good pitcher here at home, where he's going to take the start tonight against this Minnesota Twins team, but 11 ground ball outs. As a matter of fact, in his last 3 starts, 54% of the balls put in play against him have been on the ground. He's not going to strike out a lot of batters, Mario. We know that. He's not going to overpower you. His top fastball is about 90, but he's got a really good fastball, nice curveball, nice slider. He uses his change ball a lot. He keeps the ball down. Therefore, he's been inducing a lot of weak contact.
Well, last time we saw this Twins team, no Mauer and no Sano. Mauer is still out. Sano is back, but they still have 2 guys in their lineup that are awfully good. That would be Escobar and Rosario. These guys are mashing. Well,
Escobar, for me, has always been a really good player, but he's never been able to play every single day. He's always been a backup player since he's come to the big leagues with the Minnesota Twins, but he's coming off Player of the Week, and he did that playing 3 different positions. He leads baseball in doubles, 39 extra base hits this year, which is tied for most in the majors. And then when you start talking about Eddie Rosario, this guy, 361 with 11 homers and 31 ribbies since May 1st, and not only does he do that, this guy already has had 2 3-homer games in his career. No one else in Minnesota uniform has done that before. So 2 really good players that Blaine Hardy's going to have to maneuver his way through tonight.
All right, Tigers trying to take advantage of another Central Division opponent here tonight. Game 1 of the series coming up after a short break. We'll send you to the Call Sam Studios and John Keating. How about Leonis Martin? He is on pace for career highs in homers and RBIs. Tigers Twins next.
To you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica. And powered by Ram Trucks. Built to serve. Very nice night for baseball on a Tuesday night downtown. John Keating welcoming you back to the Call Sam studio. Something to watch as you watch the game here tonight. Chances are pretty good in a battle between division rivals. It's going to be tight. Well, Detroit and Minnesota are among the game's leaders in skinny games. But Detroit is 12-10 in one-run games played. Minnesota, conversely, just 3-13. Major League Baseball is taking part again in the Home Run Challenge. Leading up to Father's Day, nearly $4 million was raised last year. The guys in the booth will have more during the game, and the Tigers and Twins are next here on Fox Sports Detroit.
The hill tonight for the Tigers, presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Hey, Blaine Hardy was pretty good in his last outing against the Boston Red Sox. He threw 11 ground ball outs and had really only one blemish, which was one inning against him where he gave up 4 runs. So he pitched a good game. I expect him to pitch a good game tonight against Minnesota.
It'll be Brian Dozier to lead things off for the Twins. They're in town for a 3-game set. And here we go. The first pitch of the night is a strike called on Brian Dozier. Batting .239 with 9 home runs this year. And he's knocked in 26 at the top of the Twins lineup. Dozier looks at a ball high and away. 1 ball in, 1 strike.
And Blaine Hardy has all 4 pitches. He's got the fastball that will top out at about 90 miles an hour. He really likes his slider and his curveball and his changeup.
On the ground at third and gobbled up there by Candelario. One gone. Dozier is out 5-3. Rest of the Twins lineup presented by your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Dozier, Rosario, and Escobar, the top three spots to know. Batting cleanup tonight. Kepler is in right field. Garver is the catcher. You got Morrison, Adrianza, and Lamar in the bottom three spots. Paul Molitor, the skipper of the Twins, hoping his team will start playing some better baseball. They've been banged up as well, just like the Tigers have. Here is Eddie Rosario playing to pull on Rosario, ball one. Molitor brought his team to the postseason last year. Much was expected of their team this year.
And Molitor also was manager of the year last year.
Right back to the mound. Hardy will handle this one, and very quickly, 2 ground ball outs.
Already a lot of soft contact induced by Blaine Hardy, just like his last outing. Oakland University brings you the Tigers starting defensive alignment. Jacoby Jones in left. Leonis Martin, well, he's been banging, also playing some really good defense, is Leonis. Nicholas Castellanos, he's the everyday right fielder. At third to first reads Candelario, Iglesias, Machado, and Miguel Cabrera. And John Hicks getting another start behind the plate while James McCann continues to battle some flu-like symptoms.
Tigers also called up Grayson Griner, so they have an extra catcher. They now have a 4-man bench as Zach Reiniger was sent down. Escobar is really hitting the baseball hard these days, batting .288. Was the player of the week last week in the American League.
And he did that while playing 3 different positions.
Got him at third base tonight, and he'll look at a ball low.
He hit 21 home runs last year, so the 12 home runs already this year, not a huge surprise for Eduardo.
Two and two now on Escobar.
And most of his damage has come batting left-handed, not so much right-handed.
Hardy in search of the 1-2-3 first. Chopper to the third baseman. Candelario to his left. Escobar is out, and 1-2-3 go the Twins. We'll go to the bottom of the first, no score. Presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers, Martin, Castellanos, and Cabrera. Then Candelario batting cleanup. Vimart is hitting fifth. John Hicks doing the catching tonight. Jones, Iglesias, Machado, bottom three, and they're facing Jake Odorizzi, who is presented by MGM Grand Detroit.
Odorizzi comes in 3-3 in 13 starts for his new team, a .424 earned run average. A top fastball about 92 miles an hour. He also throws a cutter. He has a curve, slider, and he likes his changeup almost as much as he likes his slider.
So the veteran Odorizzi will go to work here against Leonis Martin. Leonis enjoying a 5-game hitting streak coming into play tonight.
He's been on fire. He has been hitting the baseball extremely hard. At least he did in that Cleveland series.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. Martin skies one in the air deep to center field. Lamar going back to the track, and he'll make the catch halfway onto the warning track.
It's a home run in every other ballpark in America. Here's the Minnesota Twins defensive alignment. You know, the local kid, Lamar, is out in center field. On the corners, you've got Eddie Rosario, you got Max Kepler in right field. Third to first reads Escobar, Adrianza, Dozier, Morrison, and Mitch Garver is the starting catcher.
Ryan Lamar playing center field, the local product out of Jackson Lumen Christi High School and the University of Michigan. Back here in the Motor City. Nick Castellanos takes the ball outside.
I'm sure he's got lots of family and friends in the house here this evening.
Yeah, I'm quite certain he used up all of his comp tickets today.
And all of his buddies' comp tickets, too.
Nick batting .321, 6 home runs. Odorizzi missing high, 2-0.
And Nicholas was really slowed down in the series against Cleveland. He batted just .143.
Two out of 14 in the series against the Tribe, but against the Twins earlier this year at Target Field, he was 6 for 12. By the way, if the Tigers combine for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring a copy of the box to a participating Arby's location tomorrow, and you'll get a free small order of curly fries.
I was doing some research on Minnesota, and defensively, they shift just as much, almost as much as the Houston Astros do. They're the 3rd most shifting team in all of baseball under Paul Molitor.
They've got a big shift going on here against Castellanos.
And Nicholas will take the base hit the other way. I mean, if you just throw him something on the outside part of the plate, he will hit something right towards second base. Wasn't trying to hit anything towards second base with that swing.
3-2 on Nick. 34 driven in this year for Castellanos. And he walked him, ball 4. Odorizzi delivers the base on balls. Here's the weather tonight here at the ballpark. You can see it's a little bit cloudy out here, 74 degrees. It is humid as well, overcast, the official forecast. That'll bring up Miguel Cabrera. Miggy 3 out of 12 in the series against the Indians. One thing I have noticed about Cabrera, he has been hitting a lot of ground balls recently.
He really has. It does not seem to be generating the kind of power that we're accustomed to. Here's a real nice indication of how well he'll do this evening. He's sitting in a real nice friendly count here, 1 ball, no strikes. And let's see what kind of swing he takes if he gets a fastball.
Up and in, 2-0.
Yeah, that Tribe pitching staff that just left here, at least their starters were really good. They kind of handcuffed a lot of the Tigers hitters. First it was Bauer, then it was Clevenger, and then they followed that up with one of the best pitchers in all of baseball on Sunday. That was Corey Kluber. He got his 10th win of the year against Tigers that day.
Two and 1 now on Miggy. Good to see Mr. Santiago is back in the coaching box. Congratulations to Ramon and his wife. Angel David was born. And he's got 4 children now, and he's getting closer to fielding a major league team. Although Ramon said, I don't think we're going to get that far.
And I don't think his wife wants to do that either.
2-2.
I would say that he's probably well rested, but
no,
that's not always the case when you have a newborn that comes home. And Miggy had a real nice conversation there with Mike Mulinski, the home plate umpire, telling him he thought that ball was a skosh outside. But he had a smile on his face while he was telling him it.
That might be the first time I've ever heard you use the word skosh. Ever.
Yeah. I think I stole that from you.
Yeah, I think
that's your word.
It's starting to rub off on you. That's too bad.
It took me all of 16 years to finally say it.
3-2 on Miguel. Odorizzi's gone full now in the last two batters. Runner goes on 3-2, fouled away. Time now for the Bernstein advantage. Miguel Cabrera is in some pretty good company against the Minnesota Twins.
Two Hall of Famers, and that would be Eddie Murray and Jim Thome. And of course Miguel, once he shuts it down, that's where he'll be headed as well, to Cooperstown. And don't know about A-Rod unless they relax some of the rules lately that has dictated who gets in and who gets out. But A-Rod definitely had a good career.
Runner going again on 3-2, and it's ball four, and now the Tigers have back-to-back walks here in the first.
Something to watch for here. Odorizzi on the first pitches of at-bats this year to the opposing hitters. They are hitting .462 against him, so that's something to look for here for Candelario if in fact Odorizzi does throw him a first pitch, a fastball after a couple of base on balls. Always nice to see the fans in the ballpark keeping score.
Jamer at .263 with 10 home runs.
Even though he's walked a couple, if you're Jamer, you got to be ready for that first pitch fastball.
We're talking to Ron Gardenhire before the game today about the home run that Candelario hit against Cody Allen in the Cleveland series for the game winner, and that thing went a long way, more than halfway up the seats and right. Gardy said he wasn't sure he knew he had that much power. The 1-0 is inside, 2-0, and now Odorizzi continues to scuffle with his command.
Everybody has been pitching Candelario inside. And time for the DTE Energy Know Your Own Power. Here's that home run that you were speaking of, Mario, against Cody Allen, the closer of the Cleveland Indians. That ball way back. And a walk-off. Tigers have 5 walk-off wins already this year.
Saw that ball leak out over the plate, and Candelario killed it. Here's the 2-0. Jamer sends it high but foul down the right field line.
Yeah, Jamer was trying to lean on another one right here.
Blaine Hardy looking for some early support here if the Tigers can cash in on these 2 walks. Candelario has batted in several different spots in the lineup. They have settled on 4th right now. Fouled away, 2-2.
And take a look at this list right here. Players 24 or younger and that are leading their team in home runs. And there's Candelario. He's has 10 of them. The Ozzie Albies kid, he's also a switch hitter. You got the left-hander Joey Gallo, and then you have the shortstop Tim Anderson. How about that? More than Jose Abreu.
That's hard to believe. We saw Ozzie Albies in spring training when Atlanta came to Lakeland a couple of times. He's a dynamite player.
He really is.
They got a lot of good young talent on that Atlanta team. Meanwhile, the number is not good early on here for Odorizzi. He has already thrown 20 pitches. 11 have missed the strike zone. And Jamer popped it up left side of the infield for Escobar. Now it's going to be the shortstop. Then Escobar will make the play. Adrianza was in the neighborhood as well.
And a lot of fastballs up top, fastballs inside to Jamer. Then he finally threw him an off-speed pitch. That's his split-fingered fastball. He uses as his changeup. And he had Candy out in front. They've got some pretty good arms in the outfield. Rosario in the outfield already has 5 assists. Kepler in right field also has a really good arm. Lamar in center field, his arm is average. So Dave Clark on anything hit to the corners, he knows that he has to really pay attention with Nicholas running. Nick's got good speed, but Rosario can really throw. He's got a 60 arm.
Martinez sends a ground ball to the right side. Sliding stop Dozier, who will throw him out. Schiff takes a hit away from Victor Martinez. Tigers will strand 2 walks. Hosting the Twins in a 3-game set. And it'll be Miguel Sano to get it started now for Minnesota. The power hitting Sano is the DH tonight.
Something that Hardy has done very well since he has been in the rotation since coming back from the minor leagues. A lot of first pitch strikes. As a matter of fact, he has really pounded the strike zone, which is imperative. And for someone that does not have an overpowering fastball, good location on all of his pitches. And why I say it's imperative for someone that does not have a power fastball, because if you get yourself in 1-0 counts and 2-1 counts and 3-1 counts, you've got to have the ability to throw off-speed pitches, because you're not going to throw fastballs by big league hitters.
Sano has been on the DL for much of the first half. Hamstring problem, batting .206. And he'll take outside, run the count level now at 2-2.
From an offensive standpoint, they really missed the production of Sano while he spent time on the disabled list. They definitely missed Joe Mauer, who was having a good year, and they also missed Byron Buxton. They really can't figure out Buxton yet. He was struggling before he went on the disabled list, but he also plays very well in the second half. So Minnesota looking forward to getting back their speedy center fielder.
Joe Mauer in a rehab right now, and they're hopeful he can come back on Friday when their club starts a series in Cleveland. Got him, strike 3. Sano out of there, 1 gone. Well, tonight we are participating in the Home Run Challenge. Every home run in this game raises money for prostate cancer research. Since June 1st, $525,000 has been raised in the challenge. You can make a pledge by going to homerunchallenge.org and helping out. Max Kepler looks at a strike.
Another first pitch strike there thrown by Blaine Hardy. Kepler just 1 for 7 in his career against Blaine. But he also has a really nice average against left-handed pitching. He's better against lefties than he is against righties.
Hardy once again ahead of the count, 0-2. Got him, strike three. Kepler thought it was up top, and what a start for Blaine Hardy. That's his second strikeout.
Look out, Blaine. I see you. He is filling up that strike zone. Another little breaking ball there at 83 that he started right at Kepler. Came off the fingertips nicely, and it caught the outside corner. Real nice job of catching that ball at the top of the strike zone by Hicks, and ever so slightly and pulling it down.
Mitch Garver stands in now, the Twins catcher. He'll pull one foul.
Garver went up there swinging. He said, this guy, he's throwing a lot of first pitch strikes. I'm going to be ready for it.
Twins are without their starting catcher, Castro. Jason Castro done for the year with a knee injury. And so Garver has filled in. Couple of homers this year. 1 ball and 1 strike. Twins came in right behind the Tigers in the standings, half game behind Detroit. There's a strike called, 1-2. They've had so much improvement in the rotation.
Bullpen's been good too.
Lance Lynn and Barrios has come on to be the ace type that they figured he would. But they just have not scored enough runs. Little chopper back up the middle. Here comes Iglesias on the charge. Quick throw is in time, and another 1-2-3 for Blaine Hardy. Nice play by Iglesias. Here, John Hicks will be getting things rolling for the Tigers, and here in the second it'll be Hicks, Jones, and Iglesias facing Jake Odorizzi, who pitched around 2 walks in that first inning. In there, strike 1 on Hicks.
Hicks had a couple of hits on Sunday against Corey Kluber. The Tigers couldn't generate a whole lot of offense, but John Hicks got a couple of knocks. Both of the hits the opposite way. And we talked about the fact that Minnesota, they will shift as much as most teams in baseball. Only a couple of teams shift more than them. You know, Houston is one of them.
Hicks has been used behind the plate and at first base this year. He's made he's made more starts this year at first than he had all of last year. Filling in for the injured Miguel Cabrera. And Odorizzi missing high. He's gone again to a 3-ball count, 3-1.
And John was able to find his groove when he was playing every single day while Miggy was out.
Lost him, another walk. Leadoff man on here in the second, third walk of the game for Odorizzi. Well, but going back to college now with Nissan, and the center fielder for the Twins, Ryan Lamar, you know all about him. He was a former standout at Michigan, Jackson Lumen Christi High School as well. All Big Ten first team in 2010, and now wearing Twins colors and patrolling center field. Here is Jacoby Jones. Breaking ball popped up first base side for Morrison, and Jacoby retired on one pitch. That'll bring up Iglesias. Odorizzi a long time ago was a first-round pick of the Brewers, and then went over to that big deal that involves Zach Greinke with the Royals, Kane, and Alcides Escobar. He then made his way to the Tampa Bay Rays and now Minnesota. Here's a strike called on Iglesias.
Odorizzi's been in a couple of big deals. He was in the James Shields deal as well, wasn't he? From going to Kansas City?
He was,
from
correct.
Kansas City?
Yep. And signed with the Twins. Odorizzi's had a very solid major league career. And back in there is Hicks on a dive.
Pretty good move there by Odorizzi. A lot of times guys that aren't base stealers, and John Hicks is not a base stealer. Every now and then you'll find a guy napping over there. You give him a quick move. You never know, you can pick a guy off. And that was pretty close.
It has been a while since the Tigers have seen Odorizzi. Back in 2016, the last time they saw him. Fly ball right field. Coming toward the line is Kepler, and just enough room. Two gone. Well, stay tuned to Tigers Live. Following the game, we'll select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers Player of the Game, presented by McDonald's. Here's Dixon Machado. .207 this year for Machado. Did not have a hit in the Cleveland series. Early on this season, Machado was seeing that severe shift with three defenders to the left side. Now we're seeing more teams kind of leak that second baseman over to the other side of the bag a bit. Machado trying to, or at least the Tigers trying to have him go the other way more.
Oh, no doubt. To his benefit.
Swing and a miss. 1-2.
There's no reason for a guy like Machado, a guy that can handle the bat, for the opposition overshift on you.
Fouled straight back. Machado now is 0 for his last 10.
And we told you that Odorizzi has trouble on the first pitch of an at-bat. The batting average is .462 against him, but with 2 strikes, the batting average just .176 against Odorizzi. So he's tough when he gets ahead.
Good take there by Dixon, did not chase, and now that will leave the count at 2-2, but the pitch count continues to elevate here for Odorizzi. You got Leonis Martin waiting on deck. Again down the right field line, slicing out of play. For a while there, the Twins just could not find enough arms to really get them over the hump. But this offseason, they pick up Odorizzi. They got Lance Lynn. You know, Barrios coming on now. So it appears that at least that rotation for Paul Molitor is kind of rounding into shape.
No question about that, because Barrios is he's a legitimate ace now. He was a complete game his last outing. Odorizzi starting to round himself into shape, and Lance Lynn pitched a really good game against us, and he's pitched well since we were in Minnesota a couple of weeks ago. So their rotation starting to get it together.
Pretty good battle here by Machado.
And their bullpen has been good for the last calendar month. They just need some bigger hits on the offensive side.
That's where I think the offense is missing guys like Mauer and Buxton. When both those guys are cruising, their offense does as well. Sano just coming back. And Machado, a check swing roller, foul.
Mauer is just such a great handler of the bat. He's not necessarily going to beat you with power, but he's the one guy you hate to see coming to the plate with runners in scoring position. And he's always has good at bats. He just keeps the lineup turned over because he'll walk too. Joe Mauer.
Yeah, and he's a veteran with great presence.
Ron Gardenhire knows all about him. Managed him for a number of years in Minnesota. Watched him win batting titles and an MVP.
Another foul back out of play. Gardy tells a great story about one of his starting pitchers who didn't really particularly like to throw to Joe Mauer when Mauer caught. And Gardy brought him in and said, get used to it, because Joe Mauer is not coming out of the lineup. Ever.
So you better figure it out or you'll be gone.
This will be the 10th pitch coming up in this bat.
Gardy has a lot of fun down there before the game. He's got handshakes with all the guys.
Runner going and a bouncing ball foul.
They really enjoy playing for him. Gardy said his squad really needed the off day. After playing, what, 18 games in 19 days, they finally had a day off on Monday. Guys able to recharge their batteries.
The thing about off days is they're great and all, but you spend so much of the time catching up on things that you couldn't do.
Right.
Whether it's dry cleaning or paying the bills or whatever.
See, that's us. And them young fellas, they sleep.
Yeah.
They sleep.
That's true.
They got somebody else could do all that stuff for them.
Man, Machado just continues to hammer away here against Odorizzi. .41 pitches now for Jake Odorizzi. Slice to right field, and it's going to drop. Base hit. A single for Machado after a lengthy battle with Odorizzi.
And nice job there by Dixon. They've been trying to get him to go the opposite way a little bit more frequently. And he gave him a battle, and then finally got him something on the outside part of the plate, hit it right over Dozier's head, and landed right in front of the right fielder, Max Kepler.
It was a 12-pitch at bat.
And that sets the table for one of their hotter hitters lately.
Martin hit a ball about 410 feet to center field in the first inning.
He also has really good career numbers against Odorizzi. 4 for 33. 4 for 13, excuse me.
Up and in, ball one. That has got to be the ultimate frustration for a pitcher. A 12-pitch at bat that results in a single to the 9-hole hitter.
You see that a lot, though, guys that have those kinds of lengthy at bats. They've basically seen everything that the pitcher is throwing. And they just seem to put the ball in play. And a lot of times when they finally put it in play, they get rewarded with a hit. And Menards brings you the big money encounter on Sunday. Corey Kluber has given up 11 home runs coming into the game. That would be number 12. Top of the strike zone, and he hit it about halfway up the right field seats, did Leonis.
So what are the numbers that the Leonis is on pace for? Well, here they are. 22 homers, 58 driven in. Those would be career highs. Ground ball right side. Dozier on the backhand. And the Tigers will strand 2 more. No runs, a walk, a hit, 2 men left. Wild finish last night in Gainesville. We'll tell you more about that next.
Last night, Casey Mize's Auburn Tigers took on the Florida Gators in a win-or-go-home game. This is how it ended. In the bottom of the 11th, Austin Langworth hit a walk-off homer. It went off the right fielder's glove and over the fence, and that determined the win. The Gators punching a ticket to the College World Series, and they end the college career of Casey Mize. That is a gut punch way of losing a game, gentlemen.
Great time of the year, though. The Super Regionals heading to the College World Series. Always fun to watch. Casey Mize now will concentrate on his professional career, which, of course, will be with the Tigers. We got Morrison, Adrianza, and Lamar coming up here as we get things started in the 3rd. Logan Morrison, 193 batting average. Playing him to pull on the right side of the infield. 52% of the balls that Minnesota will hit are pulled, and that's why they are one of the most shifted against teams in the American League.
And Morrison is one of those guys that gets shifted on quite frequently.
This one hit the other way, but foul.
He gets shifted on, Mario, 63% of the time, and that is 21st most in the majors. So there are 20 guys that are getting shifted on more than 63%.
Morrison had a huge year last year.
He's another one of those guys that they're waiting for his bat to show up consistently and to drive in some runs.
Well, he dug a big hole at the start of the year, was 3 for 44 to start the season, and has been trying to dig out of that hole.
Yeah, you mentioned the big year a season ago. Yeah, 30 years in Florida for the Tampa Bay Rays.
Chop to first base, and Cabrera sliding play. Look out, Morrison hits the deck in an awkward looking play.
Did he trip over Miggy? Morrison and Miguel Cabrera were teammates in Florida, and before Miggy was traded to the. Oh, that's crazy by Morrison. That could have been ugly. He's lucky.
Guy starts smelling a hit, and the fundamentals go out the window sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know if he was smelling hit there, if he didn't want to run into Miguel, but that was a late slide, and it almost hurt himself.
A-Ray Adrianza standing in as Hardy now has retired the first 7 in a row that he's faced.
And he's been able to drop that curveball in there nicely. Yeah, for strikes whenever he wants to. It's what's made Blaine so effective. Oh my goodness, he is just changeup, curveball, occasional fastball, but a lot of off-speed stuff. Here's a changeup. It's a circle change, and look at the fading action on it, and tailing away from Adrianza. Of the 30 pitches he's thrown, only 20% of those have been fastballs. So heavy dose of all-speed stuff already to the aggressive Minnesota Twins team.
Another ground ball slowly toward third base. Candelario in the bare hand has no play, and that'll be an infield single for Adrianza. Again, another ball hit on the ground by Minnesota. Time now for Lowe's whole team together. This is where the Tigers have kind of excelled in inducing ground ball double plays. Only the Giants and Angels have turned more.
As many ground balls as Hardy has been throwing in his last 3 games. It's a pretty good bet that they will turn number 69 right here.
Ryan Lamar is the batter. He'll look at it, strike 0-1. Of the first 7 outs that Hardy has recorded, 5 of them have been ground outs, the other 2 punch outs. And he'll go back to first. Standing up easily there is Adrianza. Tigers played the Twins in a 3-game set at Target Field last month, and Minnesota won 2 of the 3 in that series. Runner goes. And no throw as Hicks unable to handle it. It'll be a stolen base for Adrianza.
Yeah, that's a changeup. Yeah, that bounce, so really no opportunity for Hicks to make a play on him. Adrianza, he definitely picked the right pitch to run on.
No doubt. And Lamar looks at a ball inside.
Well, then again, when you have a guy that's only thrown 20% fastballs, most of the counts will be good running counts.
Hardy this year has gone about 35% slider, which last year, it's way up from last year, 14% last season.
Ooh, that changeup is dirty, though. Real good arm speed, real good arm action. The hitter sees fastball spin and it come out of Hardy's hand, and that's why you see so many hitters out in front of that changeup.
Lamar was called up when Phil Hughes was put on the, or actually designated for assignment. They cut ties with Hughes. Lamar had a big spring camp this year, hit .475 in spring training, and then was sent to the minor leagues. Now he's up at the big league level. Here's the 2-2. It'll get away from Hicks. And Adrianza will move up into third, standing up.
And you wonder if Ron Gardenhire will bring the infield in. Here in the third inning, runner on third, less than 2 outs. It looks like that's what he's going to do.
Swinging a foul, just got a piece of it as Lamar stays alive.
It's a healthy cut there by Ryan Lamar.
Driven toward left field on the line. Jones lines it up. Runner tags. Jacoby airs it out. Throw to the plate is not in time. Good strong throw by Jones, but deep enough for the RBI.
A nice throw by Jacoby, but let's take a look at our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. We told you that Blaine pitched a couple of weeks ago in Minnesota. And here's a lengthy at bat against Dozier. Take a look at every last pitch here to Dozier. They're all going to be away from him, and then he finally makes a really good pitch that should have resulted in some weak contact or at least an out. And you see how far this ball is off the plate. It's 80 miles an hour, and Dozier gets a hustling double down the right field line. And the fact of the matter is, you have to show that pitch to him that he just showed to him to keep him off that good pitch when you do make it on the outside corner. It's a nice job there on that first pitch to Dozier.
Playing to pull on the infield, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Most of his damage done, I mean his major damage done, is to the pull field. He will get some hits the other way, but not a lot of damage the other way.
Twins use a stolen base and a wild pitch to set up a run after an infield single. Now the 1-2. Dozier now is 3 for his last 26 against left-handed pitching. Pound that one back out of play. Seemed like last year his name was coming up quite a bit during the trading deadline, where the Twins really couldn't decide whether or not they would go for it or sell off.
Yeah, they had him going to the Los Angeles Dodgers. I mean, there was a lot of talk about he in Los Angeles. He's a free agent after this season, though, correct?
He is. He has hit safely in 8 straight against the Tigers. 3-2. Popped him up. First base side is going to be Hicks. That'll end the inning. They get a run on the sac fly by Lamar. .345 this afternoon. Good news. Francisco Liriano threw a simulated game here at the ballpark. He threw about 50 pitches and reported after the game that he felt great. He will throw a start down in the minor leagues on Sunday, and who knows? Looks like he'll be back soon.
And Ron Gardenhire said that the ball was coming out of Liriano's hand very nicely today as he watched the simulated game. For those of you that do not know what a simulated game is, it's when you know, pitchers have an injury, and you can kind of control what they do on the mound. And it's a live situation. They're throwing their pitches, you know, as hard as they can. They're using all their pitches, but they're going up against their own teammates. And it's usually the reserve guys like a Machado or a Reyes or Goodrum, guys that aren't getting consistent at bats.
I guess it's the best way to have as close to a game experience as possible while still controlling the experience as well.
Magic word, control. They can control the ups and downs. If the innings go too long, they can sit them down and start the next inning.
1-2 on Castellanos. He'll be followed by Cabrera and Candelario. So it appears, at least coming up, the Tigers will get 2 pieces back in the rotation. Zim threw in West Michigan last night. Now Odorizzi with the 1-2.
Yeah, that fastball at 91 up top, thrown by Odorizzi. He really likes his breaking ball. He also likes his split changeup, but we've also told you that Castellanos loves hitting off-speed pitches. Shane Green kicking it in the dugout till about the 4th or 5th inning until he reports for work in the bullpen.
2-2 on Nick.
Yeah, they open up the entire right side of the infield for Nick. They also open up right center field. So anything in the right center field gap and through here is going to get all the way to the wall for Nicholas. And he will go in that direction.
Here's the 2-2. Popped up. Shallow right field. Tough play for the first baseman. Morrison down to his knees to haul it in. That's a great play.
Yeah, because Kepler had no shot. And you won't see first baseman run as far as Morrison had to run to make this very difficult catch, but he was able to make the play and take off where he starts at. And he's running with his back to the field. Kepler wasn't going to help him out. He wasn't going to make the play. It's nice concentration there.
One away for Miguel Cabrera. Miggy also walked and was stranded in the first, and he'll back away from ball 1.
Yeah, they play Miggy the exact same way that they play Castellanos. They open up the entire right side of the infield.
Cabrera's had only 1 RBI in his last 13 games. Missed just about the entire month of May with the hamstring injury. One and two. Oh, that didn't look good.
That's that bicep.
Yep, that did not look good at all. He's just walking away.
Off the field.
Here comes Doug Teeter to take a look.
Yeah.
And Cabrera's just simply going to walk back into the clubhouse.
Oh, my goodness.
Immediately he dropped the bat, and you could tell right away he was done. Well, this year, like last year and the year before, Rod, it just seemed like you've had to hold your breath every night with Miggy because things like this can happen.
Yeah. I wonder if the Tigers knew something. I mean, because they called up Grayson Griner today, and I don't know who they're going to use, whether they're going to put Griner behind the plate, put Hicks at first, or whether Aniqua will finish the at-bat. But, man, oh, man. A lot of pain. Is that the same? It has to be the same bicep, right? I'm thinking it has to be.
I would imagine it is. I don't know for certain, but that visual tells you everything you need to know. So the Tigers now are going to have to finish this at bat with someone else. Cabrera's out of the game.
Yeah, and that dugout is quiet right now.
So it'll be Goodrum. By the way, the Tigers host the Rangers Saturday, July 7th at 4:10. The first 10,000 fans receive a Willie Horton 1968 50th anniversary bobblehead, courtesy of Dunkin' Donuts. If you'd like tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or go to tigers.com. So Goodrum now will assume this at bat here with a 1-2 count. And once we get official word on Cabrera, we'll certainly pass it along to you. So here's Goodrum. Now the count will be 1-2 on Nico. Talk about tough spots. You got to walk off the bench and there's 2 strikes on you.
That's exactly what the home plate umpire said to Nico as he approached the home plate.
Swing and a miss.
He told Nico the good news is that you're in the game. The bad news is you got 2 strikes.
Two gone now as Odorizzi gets his first strikeout. Here's Candelario. Jamer popped up with 2 men on in the first. Tigers had a couple of walks in the first inning, another walk and a single in the second, but they have stranded 4 men so far. Candy looks at a ball high. Same spot, 2-0. Odorizzi came in with good numbers against the Tigers, 2-1 with a 2.28 career ERA. He's battled some control troubles early in this game with the 3 walks. And this will be his 58th pitch. Jamer looks at a ball high, 3-0. Vimar waiting on deck. Odorizzi's already had 4 3-ball counts in this game, and he'll deliver a strike. Jamer thought he had a walk.
I don't remember Odorizzi when he pitched for Tampa pitching away from this much contact. He's just pitching away from a lot of contact here today. He's about to throw a 60th pitch.
3-2. Here you go, 22, followed by 23. Grounded foul. Of course, he had that 12 pitch at bat against Machado in the second that resulted in a base hit. And he walked in, ball 4. Odorizzi was walking off the mound to the dugout. And he has a little look in now for Mike Malinsky.
Yeah, the 4 walks tonight, given up by Odorizzi, a season high.
Right at the knees, pretty good pitch, but Mike Malinsky called it low. 2 outs now for Vimart.
At some point in time, the Tigers need to make Odorizzi pay for all these free passes.
Vimar hit a ball to right field in his first at bat. Problem was he hit it right at Dozier, who was in shallow right, resulting in a 4-3 ground out. And that's exactly where Dozier is positioned again. One and one. Tigers, by and large, this year have not been a home run hitting team. They did win that game on the Candelario homer in the 12th inning a couple of nights ago against the Indians, but they don't hit very many homers. 54, which is last in the American League. They have won games in different ways.
If you're wondering who the strikeout goes to that Nico Goodrum just had, because he inherited the 2-strike count, the strikeout goes to Miguel Cabrera.
Odorizzi now working at a very crisp pace early on in this one. He'll bring home the 1-1. Well, his ratio is just not all that good.
No, it's not. Effectively wild has been Odorizzi so far here tonight.
Of the 65 pitches, 27 balls, 38 strikes. Slap foul on a play, 2-2. So at this pace, we'll certainly see that Minnesota bullpen tonight, but it's been a bullpen that since May 1st has been among the best in the American League. Twins got a run in the top of the inning on a sac fly by Ryan Lamar. Ball 3 now to Victor Martinez. Another 3-ball count for Odorizzi. John Hicks waiting on deck. Odorizzi won 10 or more games 3 times with the Rays. Had an ERA of in the high 3s, so he was solid for Tampa Bay. Runner going on 3-2, hammered in the air to center field. Lamar is on the run. He'll get there, and the inning is over. No runs, a walk, 1 man left. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire. in favor of the Minnesota Twins in this one. Blaine Hardy has done really good work here this afternoon, or this evening, Rod, but the story right now is still waiting word on Miguel Cabrera, and that's the last thing we wanted to see.
Yeah, it didn't look good. I mean, it looks like it's going to be a DL stint for Miggy. It's going to be the second time that he's gone down with a bicep injury, so not good for the Tigers, but they'll have to play some more baseball without Miggy. They did it basically the entire month of May.
Well, how about Hardy? He gave up an infield single, stolen base, a wild pitch, and a sac fly, and that's the only run he's given up.
Well, I've loved the way that he's gone about his business. Lots of first pitch strikes. He's gone about his business a lot differently than Odorizzi, the starter for the Minnesota Twins. He's thrown a lot of pitches. He's walked 4. I said he walked 4 one other time, but 5 actually is the most he's walked this year. That'd be Odorizzi. But Blaine Hardy doing well.
Grounded foul at first base by Eddie Rosario. Rosario getting things started here for Minnesota. A lot of ground balls early in this one for Hardy. Facing 2, 3, and 4 in the Twins lineup. 2-2.
The ground balls have kind of been a theme for Hardy over his last 3 outings, and you add in this one his last 4 outings. Tons of ground balls. A lot of soft contact.
Just off the plate, 3 balls and 2 strikes on Rosario. Let's bring in Craig Monroe now, and Simo, we're looking at Blaine Hardy throw another pretty good ball game here. He's off to a nice start tonight.
You know what? He's outstanding as a starter since getting the opportunity to start ball games, and I just like the way he attacks the hitters. He never gives in, and guys, if you watch him really close, he's reading the hitters' tendencies in the batter's box, and I just feel like he pitches away from their strengths.
That's a good point. Reading hitters' swings and tendencies. It's a part of the game that is very critical. And down goes Rosario on an awkward swing. But how much of success, guys, do you think pitchers and even catchers can have by reading swings and tendencies?
It's a good quality to have. That much is for sure, because I mean, you can go to the game, Mario, with a certain game plan, but then that particular hitter might be on top of that game plan. So as a pitcher and also as a catcher, you start to watch some of the swings and look at what they might be looking for, and then you adjust accordingly.
I think it takes the pitcher to the next level.
One hopper to Candelario. One hops hit the first for the out.
It's a nice job by Goodrum on the other side, coming off that bag as well, cheating just a little bit on the one hop throw by Candelario. Starting to see a lot more guys with this throw across the diamond. He backs up, he gets the right hop, he gets rid of it in a hurry. And because Escobar has decent speed, he gets the out.
That was one of the things, Rod, I like to do from the outfield. I just truly believe that the ball gets there quicker when it takes that real nice skip off the grass.
Here is big Miguel Sano. Struck out in the second. Simo, any thoughts on the Miguel Cabrera injury?
Well, guys, it's never good when you see the big fella walk off the field. You know that he's definitely hurting because he plays through anything.
Chop to the shortstop, and he'll be thrown out there by Iglesias. Another 1-2-3 inning for Blaine Hardy.
or when you served, we stand ready to serve all military families.
Bottom of the fourth inning here. The Tigers trail the Twins 1-0 in game one in this series. John Hicks will get things started here for the Tigers versus a shift by the Minnesota defense. It'll be Hicks, then Jones, then Iglesias. Those are the batters due up here for the Tigers in the fourth. Odorizzi has seemingly been able to avoid trouble despite the fact that he's walked 4. He has stranded all 4 of those walks. Hicks held up. Tim Timmons said he did not go. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the shift that Minnesota's playing. Now the 1-1. Foul back. So for Hicks, a walk in the second, and Simo Odorizzi somehow has been able to strand these walks, but his pitch count right now is not in good shape at all.
Well, it seems to me that he's been effectively wild. He's kind of moving the baseball around. He's not giving in to the hitters, but the Tigers are doing a really good job of not expanding the strike zone as well.
Like that, a take there by Hicks, and the count goes 2-2. Jacoby waiting on deck. Popped up. See if it stays in play. Morrison charging toward the tarp. Out of play. A little ricochet around. Is there anything better than bringing your glove to the ballpark and getting a foul ball? Now, he may have caught that without the glove.
Looked like grandma and grandson having a good time.
To left center field, a base hit. Hicks is taking a wide turn. Whoa, big fella. He'll go back to first base. Leadoff single here is Trevor Thompson.
Well, Mario, we just saw John Hicks get a single up the middle. He's rejuvenated after yesterday's day off. A lot of the guys, including Hicks, said the biggest thing they did yesterday was nothing. They got lots of sleep. Hicks said after getting some sleep, he and the wife sat around and had a movie marathon session. Jacoby Jones said that after some sleep, he and Shane Green and a couple of guys went to Slows and got some barbecue, then came back and played some video games. And Leonis Martin told me after waking up, he ordered room service, ate some food, and went right back to sleep. But all the guys inside the room feeling a lot more rejuvenated and re-energized after yesterday's day off following 18 games in 17 days. Nico Goodrum, however, did not take the day off. More on what he did a little bit later on, guys.
All right, Trev, thanks. The 18 straight was certainly a marathon stretch for this Tigers team that found a way to get through it. And really, Rod played some good baseball against some pretty good teams.
Well, they went, what, 10-8?
10-8.
Yeah, that's really good. I mean, against the teams that they were playing up against.
Here's a bunt, third base side, rolling foul.
I like that idea, see, by Jacoby,
Yes.
but it's just a little bit too hard. What can you do to guard against bunting that ball that hard down the third base line?
Well, you want to try to deaden it. A lot of times we talk about as hitters hitting with the grain. Well, I think when you're laying down a bunt, right, you want to hit against the grain. This allows that ball to deaden a little bit. And really, you want to. He did the right thing too. It's either got to be right on the line or it's got to be foul. I like the idea, scuffing a little bit in the batter's box. That's a way to get yourself going by laying down a nice bunt there. So I like the thought.
Odorizzi down with the 0-1. What have you seen in the hitting from Jacoby here the last, I don't know, week and a half? It seems like he's been again a little susceptible to that breaking pitch.
Well, there's no doubt about that, Mario, but that comes without having enough trust in your swing and your mechanics and what your eyes are seeing. I think at times for him the game can speed up. Obviously he wants to succeed, and he puts a little bit more pressure on himself, I believe, than he needs to. He's got to get back to getting pitches over the heart of the plate, not chasing pitchers' pitches, and I think he's going to be fine.
Jones popped up in his first at bat. Chased up top there, 0-2. Jones at his peak earlier this year injected a lot of excitement and energy into the Tigers lineup, had a walk-off home run.
And Rod, you know this, and Maury, I'm sure you know this as well. When you start to scuffle and you're also in the batting cage working on so many things, you can take that into the batter's box sometimes and overthink it.
Jones down on strikes. Second strikeout for Odorizzi.
Yeah, no doubt you can put a little bit too much pressure on yourself when you are struggling a little bit. Back-to-back fastballs above the belt buckle thrown by Odorizzi in the low 90s. It get a couple of swing and misses by Jacoby Jones.
And then you start to think about your mechanics. Where are my hands? Am I getting my front foot up and down in time? There's just so many things can go wrong when you're thinking in the batter's box, and you really want to keep it simple. You really, really do.
Iglesias will stand in now.
Iglesias can really handle the bat. You never know, maybe a hit and run. Gardenhire has not been managing as aggressively this season as he did when he was wearing that Minnesota Twins uniform. I do know that. But the team is an aggressive team, but not nearly to the magnitude of those teams that he had in Minnesota. I wonder how much of that is analytics, and I wonder how much of that is just the team that he's managing.
Well, I think that's a good question, Rod. I think when you look at the makeup of the teams he had in Minnesota and really the ballpark he had there in Minnesota as well, and the Metrodome, I think that was conducive to putting pressure on the defense, running a lot, hit and run.
Yeah, they played on that artificial carpet.
And that probably had something to do with it, but I think as well the makeup of your ball club certainly makes a difference. I mean, we saw that the past 4 or 5 years. Tigers didn't do a whole lot of running based on the slugging lineup that they had.
Right. And even the guys that could run didn't run because you didn't want to run in and outs. Odorizzi's gone to that top high fastball now and has gotten some swings and misses.
Oh, 0-2 on Iglesias. Slap to right field, fair ball. It'll go to the corner, bounce against the wall, and go all the way to the wall. This will score a run. Hicks coming around, and Iglesias is in with a triple. That thing rolled by Kepler and all the way to the outfield wall once it caromed off the sidewall.
Kepler does not play that many games in this ballpark. Therefore, you don't know how aggressively to go over there in that right field corner. And this one hits the wall and hugs it. And then he has to chase it around. That allows Hicks to go all the way from first base, all the way to third base. See Dave Clark way down the line getting a real good look. And then he simply comes back up the line to tell Hicks you're okay to score, and then he points to Iggy to stay right here. It's a nice job by Jose.
Nice piece of hitting there by Jose, climbing the ladder there, getting on top of that baseball, Rock.
Yeah, well, you knew he wasn't going to strike out. He does not strike out at all.
Infield in now for Minnesota with a man at third and 1 out. Go-ahead run 90 feet away now for Machado.
Yeah, Dixon had an outstanding at bat his first time up today. It was a 12-pitch at bat that resulted in a base hit the opposite way. So he has a pretty good idea of what Odorizzi would like to do to him, so he just needs to relax and make sure he hits something deep enough in the outfield to score Iggy.
I'll take that base hit right now.
And he almost snuck it through.
How many push-ups, Iggy? How many?
Push-up. I think that's about 5.
5 quick ones?
I think that was 5 quick ones right there, Rob.
Yeah. I love it.
They're having some fun. They're having fun, guys. I love it.
Crowd like this, too.
Got him. It hit him barely, but it got him, and now the Tigers have 2 on.
Guys, y'all not going to want to hear this, but I feel a couple of raindrops.
Oh, boy.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, just a couple. It's a little drizzle.
Well, don't get them expensive suits you wear wet.
Oh, stop it.
Let's get an update on Miguel Cabrera here. A left bicep tendon strain. This has just been tweeted out by Tigers PR. And he is currently undergoing an MRI. So once we get more on Miguel Cabrera, we'll pass it along. But a left bicep tendon strain. Here is Leonis Martin. Not before Garvin Alston, the pitching coach, will make a slow walk out to the mound.
And Garvin in his first year as the pitching coach in Minnesota. Neil Allen was the pitching coach for the last couple of years under Paul Molitor.
You just joined us a little bit late. Here's the injury to Miguel Cabrera on a swing. And he strained that bicep tendon, and so undergoing an MRI right now. You could tell immediately that he was just walking right off the field.
Yep.
And he was not going to continue.
I'd be shocked if it's not another DL stint.
So the Tigers have tied this one up. They've got runners at first and third with one out. Now Leonis Martin.
Martin with good career numbers against Odorizzi.
Fly ball to center and a ground out, and the 2 at-bats for Martin. There's action already now. Ryan Presley starting to throw in the Minnesota bullpen. It's because Odorizzi is up to 84 pitches. And we're only in the 4th. Towering fly ball to center. Lamar going back. This will score a run. Easily trotting home is Iglesias, and the Tigers have the lead on the sac fly by Martin. It's a second ball that Leonis has hit a ton to center field.
He needs to pick a different part of the ballpark, although he'll take that RBI right there.
I love that approach too, Rod, in that situation. Driving the ball to the big part of the field, worrying about one thing, and that's getting the guy in from third. But guys, I saw something from Iglesias while he was coming back to tag at third base that I thought was very interesting, but at the same time, it's exciting to see. He was letting Dixon Machado know that he needs to get back to first base, because there could have been a potential tag up from first and trying to get to second base with it being 420 in dead center.
Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing, but Dixon went way too close to second base. Then when he went back, it was too late.
Yeah, but I love Iggy being the veteran and really, you know, trying to help him out, trying to keep him in the game and head on the swivel, trying to advance 90 feet and getting himself in the scoring position for Nick. Well, he's in scoring position right now for Nick, because Nick can drive the ball out of the ballpark and also in the gaps.
Castellanos a pop-up and a walk in this game.
Here, take a look at it right here. You see Iggy's that point. Listen, get back. You might have a chance to get that 90 feet. And again, hitters love hitting with guys at second base. Base hit will score them. But I like that they're thinking. I like that they're playing the game, knowing the field. It's so important.
1-2 on Castellanos.
That's good recognition for Iglesias, and it's something that Machado will learn on that ball hit that deeply into the outfield. It looks like it's going to be routinely caught. You can get back and tag and get to second base.
That's one of the things when Gibby was the bench coach, and Tram, and even with obviously Jim Leland. That's one of the things that they wanted us to be aware of. Try to get back to first and try to advance 90 feet on those deep fly balls to center field.
One and two on Castellanos. Single, triple, hit batter, and a sac fly, and the Tigers have the lead. Went around, and down goes Castellanos. That'll end the inning. Jose Iglesias. Big three-bagger, drives in a run. And a workout to boot. 2-1 Tigers. As Max Kepler leads it off for the Twins. Kepler, Garver, and then Logan Morrison facing Blaine Hardy. Kepler struck out in the first time. He was at the plate in the second. Swing and a miss. He came into this game pretty good numbers against left-handed pitching, 302. But Hardy got him the first time. Blaine had a 1-2-3 fourth. Pulled on the ground to second, right at Machado. Kepler is out, one away.
Here's the 1-800-CALL-SAM call of the game. Already here today, Hardy has thrown 7 ground ball outs. I mean, look at the location of most of the pitches south of the strike zone, and these Minnesota Twins are just pounding the ball into the dirt the same way that the Boston Red Sox did 5 days ago when he threw 11 ground ball outs in that contest. And just got his 8th ground ball out.
Blaine now has retired 6 in a row.
A lot of first pitch strikes. And a lot of his first pitch strikes have come on that breaking ball. He'll show you that fastball at about 85 up top, then go right back downstairs with the changeup.
A little drizzle falling at the ballpark. Nothing major here. A couple of umbrellas. Two and one on Mitch Garver. Hardy has done so well in the rotation, but he does know that once Zim comes back and Liriano comes back, he is headed to the bullpen. At least that's what Ron Gardenhire intimated today. And Tigers have been going without a lefty in their bullpen for a while. Slapped out of play.
And when he does go back to the bullpen, the one thing I'd like to see Blaine do is use all 4 of his pitches, because he's been so effective as the starter using all of his pitches. But a lot of times guys go to the bullpen and they don't use 4 pitches out of the bullpen. I think it would do him justice.
3-2. Another ground ball foul. Not often, Rod, you see a team go the stretch the Tigers have without a left-hander in their pen.
No, I mean, it's not common to do so. And you'd love to have a left-hander, even two left-handers down there, so you can pitch one early, then pitch one maybe late to get the tough left-handed bats out. But the Tigers have to make do with what they've got.
Did not go. That'll be a walk for Mitch Garver. First of the ball game now for Hardy, and we check in with Trevor Thompson.
Well, Mario, we told you what Nico Goodrum did with his day off yesterday. Well, he went to Flint and helped distribute over 1,440 cases of water that he purchased for the residents of Flint. And he told me earlier today that cars were literally lined up down the block and around the corner, and they were lined up for a couple of hours at a time to get the water that they so desperately need still there in Flint. He said each car got 8 cases of water to take home with them, and he's going back there to do it 2 or 3 more times.
Flare to center field. That'll nestle into the glove of Martin. Well, that's just, it speaks volumes about Nico Goodrum, who is in his first year here in Detroit. He really doesn't yet have deep roots in this community, but he identified something that he felt strongly about, and to me, that's what it's all about for these guys.
No question about that. Just gives you an idea that he probably came up with strong parents, strong background, wants to give back.
Here is Adrianza.
And Mario, what he also told me is that it was very important for him to not just donate the water, but to go be a part of it, to meet the people and hand out the water himself. And that's why he's going back a couple of more times. It really touched him to see what they're going through and to have his boots on the ground there and be a part of what they're doing there. So he's really impressed with what people are doing in Flint and how they're helping out. And he just wants to be a part of that.
It's pretty cool, and it really is a crisis that's been going on for a while now, and it's great to see Nico kind of latching onto that and helping folks in that community. Ooh, look out, up and in as Adrianza spins out of the way.
Yeah, don't get too comfortable. And Blaine can go a couple different ways now. He can go change up, back, change up away, or go right back inside with another good breaking ball.
Down on strike goes Adrianza. He went back away to strike him out. No runs and a walk. 1 man left. Blaine Hardy throwing a good ball game here tonight. By the Sam Bernstein Law Firm, official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit. Bell Tire, for tires and auto service, everybody needs a Bell Tire guy. And by Chevrolet, the most awarded and fastest growing brand the last 4 years overall. Tight one here between these two clubs. Tigers lead 2-1 as we go to the bottom of the fifth, and Nico Goodrum will lead things off. Nico, and then Jamer Candelario and Victor Martinez. Goodrum had to take over for Miguel Cabrera, who left with a bicep injury. And Odorizzi missing inside 1-1.
Yeah, Nico has good power. He's homered 5 times in limited plate appearances so far this year. He got his start with the Minnesota Twins.
Heading back to the seats down the left field line.
And former #2 draft choice of Minnesota in the amateur draft back in 2010. So he's playing against a lot of his friends here tonight. Guys that he grew up with in the minor leagues.
Hard to believe that what we have seen out of Nico this year, that he could not crack any of those Minnesota teams over all those years.
I agree with you. Athletic, he's got arm strength. It's a shortstop by trade. Can play 7 different positions.
Slicing away from Rosario, not going to get there. Fair ball. Nico is on his way to second, and he's in with a double. 2-base hit for Goodrum.
It's a nice job here by Nico Goodrum. Ball popped up, and he's taken off out of that batter's box, and this is how you get a hustling double, especially with Rosario in left field, who has a really good throwing arm.
Eleven doubles now for Goodrum. Jamer is up there.
Yeah, Jamer will be looking to pull the ball through the right side of the infield, and at the very least hit a ground ball right to the first baseman or the second baseman. And that will get Nico Goodrum over to third base with just 1 out for Victor Martinez. Although I have a feeling they might walk Victor if there's a runner on third. They've got 2 open bases and play for a double play.
Two 2-0. Candelario again in a very favorable count. Meanwhile, the pitch count on Odorizzi continues to skyrocket. He's going to hit 100 here in the fifth. Pulled on the ground. Nice stab there by Morrison. Runner will advance, 3 unassisted.
Now we'll see if they walk Victor to get to Hicks.
Well, if you can't catch the games on TV, you can stream them live on your mobile device with Fox Sports Go. Download the app, take Fox Sports Detroit and Tigers baseball with you wherever you go. Made available by Oakland University. Infield coming in now for the Twins. Tigers have a 2-1 lead.
Could be a situation where Odorizzi tries to get Victor to chase something, and if he doesn't chase it, they might put him on. Play for the double play.
Victor is 0 for 2, ground ball, fly ball. Ball 1. Leadoff double by Goodrum. He has had third down with 1 out. It's been a while since Martinez has gone deep. He has 4 home runs on the year, but May 19th was his last long ball. That was in Seattle. Rip right to first. Some bad luck right there.
My goodness.
Victor couldn't even get out of the box. He hit that ball so hard. 2 away.
ball was smoked.
Now John Hicks will try and drive in the run with 2 outs. Single walk for Hicks and a run scored in this ball game tonight, trying to give the Tigers another run here. And he'll look at a strike on the outer edge. There you have it, 100 now for Odorizzi. He's gone better than 20 in each of the first 4 innings in this game. Fouled away now, 0-2.
And Odorizzi, the 3rd time through, the OPS goes way up for whichever team he's going up against. Much higher than any other team, any other pitcher that qualifies.
Did he go? Yes, he went around, says Tim Timmons. Hicks can't believe it. Strikeout for Odorizzi. Tigers get a leadoff double, but strand a man. 5 in the books. Still 2-1 Tigers. Top of the 6th, it'll be Ryan Lamar and then Brian Dozier, Eddie Rosario. And they are facing Blaine Hardy, who is throwing yet another terrific ball game here tonight. Gave up an infield single back in the 3rd, and that run came around to score. Otherwise, not a whole lot doing for this Twins offense. And that has been part of their issue this year. A little bunt, and it's going to get by Hardy, and that's going to be a base hit. Leadoff man on, that is Lamar.
It's a nice job here by Lamar. Really, and no one on their team could hit Hardy here today. A lot of ground ball outs. And Hardy's one of those guys that falls off violently to the 3rd base side of the rubber. 3rd base side, therefore, nice job here by Lamar, just basically bunting that ball the other way. He almost got back to it, but didn't get there.
Lamar's bunt single represents the 2nd hit given up by Hardy. The other was an infield hit. Brian Dozier, a strikeout and a pop-up Strike one to Dozier. He has hit safely in 19 of his last 20 against the Tigers, although they've kept him in check so far tonight. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Eddie Rosario waiting on deck. Nobody out. Tying run on for the Twins here in the 6th. Swing and a miss, and Dozier is dusted. One gone.
Here's our Comerica Bank game summary. Pretty much the story so far here this evening has been Blaine Hardy. A lot of soft contact, 8 ground ball outs. He's only given up 2 hits in the 5 and 3rd frames he's pitched so far. Not good news here, however, on that swing by Miguel Cabrera. We've been told he's gone to the hospital for an MRI. He's out of the game now. Iggy with a big triple down the right field line to plate 1, and then he comes in on the sac fly in the center field off the bat of Leonis Martin.
Rosario looks at ball 1. Rosario came in batting pretty well against left-handed pitching also for the Twins. 304. Got him at first base. Lamar is picked off. And we'll see if the Twins want to challenge. Tim Timmons right there. They will not challenge it. Let's big. 2 gone. Rosario skies one toward left field, going back to the corner. Jacoby Jones to the track, right in the corner to make the catch. That'll end the inning. Let's go to the bottom of the 6th.
Watch Lamar as he inches his way off the base. He's going to take 1 step with that right foot. He's going to take another little step with that right foot. Then he's going to take 1 more step. And as soon as he takes his next step, that's when Hardy throws over right here. And he can't get back because that foot's not quite on the ground yet. So Hardy picked the perfect time to throw the ball over there. And he scrambles to get back, and a nice tag there applied by Nico Goodrum. So that's just a nice job there by Hardy, watching Lamar as he inches his way off the bag and throwing over there at the perfect time.
So the Twins now have gone to the bullpen here as we go to the bottom of the 6th. It'll be Jacoby Jones to get it started. And Jacoby again chasing up top, 0-1. Wallside windows, pitching change for Ryan Presley.
And Presley pitching in his 34th game this year, so he's been used quite often. He's pitched well, 3.73 ERA, 45 strikeouts, just 12 base on balls for the right-hander.
Presley has struggled in his last 3 appearances, 2 earned runs in each of those appearances. And he's got the bottom 3 here: Jones, Iglesias, Machado. The 0-2.
And Presley's got a good arm. You saw that last fastball at 97, but his average heater is right around 95. He throws his slider quite a bit. And he also uses his curveball quite a bit. So 48% with the fastball, and you can mix up the other 52% between the curve and the changeup.
On the outside corner, and Jacoby didn't like it. He is fanned for the 2nd time in this game. Well, the Detroit Tigers Game of Thrones ticket packages are on sale now and include an exclusive Tigers branded Game of Thrones t-shirt and a ticket to see the Tigers take on the Rangers. July 6th, go to tigers.com/GOT for more info. Iglesias had a big hit in his last at bat. Tripled against Odorizzi in the 4th and drove in a run. He shot one into the right field corner for a 3-bagger.
And you were talking earlier today about how many one-run games both of these clubs have played. The Tigers have been better in that regard than the Minnesota Twins, though.
Twins are only 3-13 in one-run games.
Iggy.
That'll be a bloop single to right center field for Iglesias, his 2nd hit.
He's on fire.
They'll bring up Machado. Dixon had the at-bat of the game back in the 2nd. 11 make it 12 pitch at bat that resulted in a single. Then he was hit by a pitch in the 4th.
Iglesias leads the team in steals. He has 9. He's been caught 3 times. And so if they feel like they can get a decent jump against this combination, and they'll be running.
I don't know what Presley's time to the plate is, but he has somewhat of a high leg kick.
Mm-hmm.
One and 2 now on Machado. Tigers wrapping up this brief homestand. They've got 3 games here against the Twins. Then they're headed to Ohio for a little bit. Chicago the first stop, then Cincy and Cleveland. So the Tigers now about to start a stretch where they're going to spend the next, well, a good part of the next month on the road. Here's the 1-2. Breaking ball popped up. Shallow center field. Lamar comes in to make the catch. 2 away.
How about the Tigers? They had a stretch of what, 18 games in a row without a day off. Now in about the next 10 days they'll have, with yesterday's day off, 3 days off.
Yeah. Yeah, they got 1 in Cincinnati and 1 in Cleveland coming up. Of course, the rain early on in the season wreaked havoc with the schedule. A lot of doubleheaders. They had an off day taken away last Monday with the Yankee doubleheader.
Yeah. I think Iglesias feels like he might be able to steal second base here. He twisted his ankle going back to the bag there. Slipped off that bag. One of the things that you and I always wondered with Jose Iglesias, as many infield singles as he was getting year after year, how come he did not steal more bases? I guess the answer was he just was never really given an opportunity to steal bases.
Yeah, I think we touched on that last half inning and how the Tigers were built. You really didn't want to run all that much for fear of running into an out when you had the artillery the Tigers had in their lineup. But this year a bit different.
Yeah, but it seemed like even when he did run, he'd get thrown out.
The 1-0 showing bunt. 2-0 on Leonis Martin. His sacrifice fly in the fourth knocked in what right now is the go-ahead run. Tigers will get a good look at this bullpen now the rest of the game for the Twins. Odorizzi threw 102 pitches in 5 innings. Drilled foul.
You're not really expecting to get a baseball way up there.
Oh,
you're not really. And it looked like it caught them all off guard too. No one got up to catch it, and it looked like he landed up there and it almost hit somebody.
Martin homered in the game at Boston to close out that road trip, that short 3-game trip, and then homered in the Cleveland series. Swing and miss, had a big rip there, tied him up.
Yeah, nice little breaking ball there thrown by Presley Slider. And down and in. Not all bad here to run now if you want to, if you're Iglesias. If you get thrown out, and really no harm, no foul. And Martin gets a fresh count in the bottom half of the 7th inning, which he probably wouldn't mind.
Runner goes, and no throw. Stolen base standing up, and for Iglesias, his 10th steal.
And no one really went to the bag here. They wanted to hold their ground. That would be the shortstop and the second baseman.
Look at the exit velo in his first at bat, 106, second at bat, 109, third at bat, 103. And all he has to show for it is a sac fly. That first at bat resulted in a ball that went about 410 feet to dead center field. And he walked him, so Martin gets a base on balls. 2 on now for the Tigers. And here comes Garvin Alston again.
Yeah, they're going to be down to 3 mound visits.
Garvin using up pretty much all of that 30 seconds to get out there.
Yeah, he getting out there like Bazio.
Hey, the 2018 FIFA World Cup is coming to Fox and FS1 with every match live and over 300 hours of coverage. The world's biggest sporting event is just 2 days away, only on Fox and FS1. So Presley now will face Castellanos. 2 on, 2 out.
Hall of Fame manager Paul Molitor.
Another swing and a miss by Nick. Walk, pop up, and a strikeout.
Good slider there thrown by Presley at 91 miles an hour.
Fly ball right field and hit well. Kepler going back, has room right in front of the wall. That'll end the inning. No runs, single, steal, walk, 2 left.
The stick update, not because it's important to me. It's
yes, it is.
It's important to you, the home viewers. And Mario Mpemba is going to need a restraining order to keep me from catching him in the Ram Pick the Stick standings, because one of us is having a very nice night indeed. Jose Iglesias picked 5th out of the 6th. Look at that, 7.
Guys, this is 5 days in a row. If Keaton wins today, it's 5 days in a row. I've had enough.
Uncle?
I've just had enough.
Uncle? Anything from the booth upstairs? Are your mics open up there, or?
Here is Eduardo Escobar to lead off the inning. Down the first base line and out of play.
John, there's a rumor going around.
That a boy, Mario.
John, are you
Well played. Well played, Mario.
Are you a free agent after this year, John?
Yeah, I'm always a free agent. Trust me, at this stage, I am day to day. Every day to day.
Well, Keating's a gracious winner. We know that.
Not at all, guys. And I've been hearing it since I sit down here with the set with him. It's nonstop. Oh, I got 7 points right now.
Yeah. Seymour, you're a saint. I know that.
No. If it was my day, you know, I'd be giving it to him.
All right. Well, we'll keep an eye on Ram Pick the Stick the rest of the way.
Yes,
but
we
Keating
will.
Again is leading one more time. As much as we hate to say that. Escobar, Sano, and Kepler here in the 7th. Now the 1-2. It's outside, 2-2 the count. You're Chevrolet's most dependable player, and it was Escobar last week, to be sure. 426, the American League Player of the Week last week. A couple of home runs. Pulled on the ground, and Iglesias can't get it. Just out of his reach. It's a base hit for Escobar. Leadoff man on here in the 7th.
Iglesias could have dove for this ball and probably knocked it down or caught that baseball, but if he leaves his feet and he dives for it, there's no way that he's going to throw Escobar out. So he simply tried to stay on his feet to grab it, but the ball trickled underneath the glove into left field.
Here comes Gardy. Blaine Hardy, 85 pitches. And he will depart the scene, so Blaine is done for the night. Tigers go to the bullpen. We'll be back.
Hardy, and he got up to 88 and low of 74 with a really good curveball. He spun up there beautifully all night long.
So Lewis Coleman will come in now. He'll face Miguel Sano in a wall-side windows pitching change.
And 14th game for Coleman since coming up from the minors. Real good ERA at 1.72. He's punched out 18. He's walked 5. In the league, hitting just 185 against the long, lanky right-hander that throws from underneath. Basically just 2 pitches for Coleman. It's a fastball, which is a 2-seamer, and also a slider that has more east to west movement than north and south, which would be down in the strike zone.
Big league time with the Royals and the Dodgers.
And Sano still trying to get his sea legs underneath him after spending quite a bit of time on the disabled list.
Went around that time. 2-1.
Big Miguel Sano is already grounded in the 6 double plays this year, even though he hasn't played all that often. Leads their team, tied with Brian Dozier.
Here's the 2-1. Inside, 3-1 on Sano. 24 games, the total of games that Sano missed this year. Last year missed most of the second half as well. Swing and a miss, good pitch there, and he couldn't catch up. 0-2, that thing curled away. Leadoff single by Escobar in a 1-run ball game here in the 7th. Fouled away.
One thing we do know, Miguel Sano is one of the strongest players in the big leagues. 7 homers, 26 driven in, but he can be pitched to. Right now, Coleman looking for a ground ball off Sano's bat.
"28 home runs last year, 21 of them though in the first half. He went around and looked like, no, he did not. That's going to be ball 4. And we check in now with Trevor Thompson.
Well, Mario, I'm with a whole section of my countrymen over here. It's Canadian night here at the ballpark, and my pal Jordan has the Canadian Old English decap on, but he's also got the Humboldt, Saskatchewan Broncos t-shirt on. We all know about that team. They were in a bus crash. Everybody on that team was pretty much killed in a bus accident during the hockey season. Tell me about the guys that came with you here tonight and what that Humboldt shirt means to you, Jordan.
Just here with a lot of friends and family tonight, just having fun watching the game. And the Humboldt shirt, I've played hockey all my life growing up, and from Canada, this affected a lot of people, so it's nice to show a way to support the guys.
So you're obviously a hockey fan, but baseball fans as well down here. How much fun you guys having at the old ball yard tonight?
Having a great time. Even though the weather's not holding up right now, we're having a great time tonight.
That's the way it is, Mario. Our friends from Canada not only love the game of hockey, but the game of baseball as well, as you well know.
Hey, Trevor, I think you ought to put on a toque, being a resident Canadian.
It's not toque weather, guy. You just wanted to say toque, didn't you? You just wanted to say toque.
That's the only reason I said that.
Is that the extent of your Canadian?
That's about it. It's all the Canadian I speak.
Canadian bacon, maple syrup.
That's about it.
Yeah. All right. I know what you're doing. I know what you're working with now.
All right. Have fun with your peeps out there, Trevor.
That's right.
Want to know the count on Kepler? Twins have 2 on here, nobody out in the 7th. Kepler was 0 for 2 against Hardy, strikeout, ground out. That'll curl outside, and now the count is 2-0. And Coleman now building a problem here after walking Sano and falling behind. We've got a mound visit coming up now. There's action in the Tigers pen, and that's Warwick Stophold. Chris Basio ambling out to the mound.
And we told you earlier that Kepler does very well against left-handers, even more homers against left-handers, and he's got a lot less at-bats against lefties. You see his numbers against righties, just .211.
Leadoff single by Escobar. That chased Blaine Hardy after 85 pitches. Gardy pacing a little bit now as the Twins are threatening here in the 7th. They got their only run way back in the 3rd.
You hate to give up free passes. And when you've got a 1-run lead, it's never a good thing.
Now it's 3-0 on Kepler.
Boy, you wonder if he'll give Kepler the green light, knowing that Coleman's going to throw a fastball right down the middle. He's got no choice but to throw a fastball right down the middle.
Garver on deck. Let us see if he does indeed get the green light. Took it for a strike, 3-1. A lot of 1-run games between these clubs. The Tigers, though, have been much better in these situations. Pulled foul, now 3-2.
You would think the Twins will be a little bit better than their record indicates with 1 runs. They've got some good speed, so they can manufacture some runs with their offense, and they've got a pretty good bullpen. Something's not adding up there.
3-13. Here's the 3-2. Got him, strike 3. Kepler is out of there trying to coax a walk. And Mike Malinsky barked at him as he walked away. 1 gone.
The entire dugout for Minnesota also barking at Mitch Malinsky. Well, here's all the pitches from Coleman to Kepler. How about that last one? Ooh, close enough.
Jake Cave is going to pinch hit for Garver. He'll bring a left-handed bat off the bench. A close pitch, but a nice job by Coleman to come back from 3-0. Ball 1.
And Cave had a big day on Sunday, just recalled from the minor leagues. He had 3 hits, and he homered in their game on Sunday.
One ball, one strike. He's having a very good year down in the International League. Can play all 3 outfield positions. Low ball 2. Escobar got it started with a single, and then a walk to Sano, and he fell behind 3-0 on Kepler, but he came back to get him. And now Coleman ready with the 2-1. High, ball 3. So Coleman now has come out of the bullpen. He's thrown 10 balls and 7 strikes. Popped up. Left field going toward the line. Jones has room, and there are 2 gone. He's going to leave it up to Logan Morrison. Ground out, fly out for Morrison. Seven homers this year. Blaine Hardy, a fabulous job tonight. And it's strike 1 to Morrison. He didn't particularly like that call. Morrison last year had career highs really in a lot of different categories: games, hits, homers, RBIs. He hit 38 home runs last year for the Rays. Signed as a free agent in February by the Twins. Way outside.
He's had a difficult time commanding that fastball. I don't know if it's a release point or what, but to a couple of the left-handed hitters he's seen, he's left a couple of those fastballs way outside.
Yeah, Coleman now has thrown 21 pitches, but has a chance to get out of this jam here in the 7th. Now the 2-1. 3 balls and 1 strike. Adrianza waiting on deck. And he didn't go. Ball 4. That will load the bases. Second walk given up by Coleman. Tying run now just 90 feet away, and that's going to be it for Coleman. Here comes Gardy. They've had Soppold warming up. So here comes Warwick Soppold out of the Tigers bullpen. He will inherit a bases loaded situation, and we'll be back. Your expectations of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica, your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows, we can do that. We are the factory. We are in the 7th inning here at Comerica Park, and Warwick Soppold coming in with the bases loaded. Wallside Windows pitching change.
And it's 26th game this year for Warwick Soppold. Doesn't strike out a lot of batters. Only 13 strikeouts this year, so more than likely there's going to be contact off the bat of Rosario.
There's a strike called on Adrianza, who has a single and a strikeout. Tigers playing to pull defensively. Escobar, Sino, Morris in the base runners, and a strike called 1-1.
And Warwick hasn't been great this year with the inherited runners that he's inherited when coming into a game. But the last time he pitched, he inherited a couple and he stranded both of those guys. So he's getting better in that regard.
2-1. Twins have only 3 hits in this game. And it's outside now. 3 balls and 1 strike with the tying run at third.
My goodness. Well, you got no place to put him.
A lot of 3-ball counts in this inning as Coleman struggled with his control.
Hardy was so good attacking the strike zone all night long.
Here's the 3-1. Swinging a drive into deep right field. Backing up is Castellanos, and that ball is gone. It's a grand slam home run for A-Ray Adrianza. His 3rd home run of the year. Well, that one's hard to believe.
Wow. Twins have not been getting many big hits this year, but that's a big hit there from Adrianza for sure.
5-2 in favor of Minnesota. And here's Ryan Lamar. Only the 4th hit of the night for the Twins. They score 4 here in the 7th.
Yeah, those base on balls costly here in the 7th frame.
Hardy is charged with 1 of the runs, 2 for Coleman, and the last one goes to Soppold. Well, Hardy had thrown only 85 pitches, gave up a single here to start the 7th, and was taken out, and the bullpen unable to hold it.
Nope. And the 7th inning has been probably the most difficult inning so far this year to maneuver through. They've got the 8th inning on lockdown, and Green's been the 9th inning guy. But there has been some times where that 7th inning has been the toughest inning to get through.
Another 3-ball count here, 3-1 on Ryan Lamar. Little chopper, third base side, Candelario. Lamar is out, that'll end the inning. A grand slam by Adrianza, and Minnesota has the lead. And coming up, the Consumers Energy 7th inning stretch.
Play of the game, a 92-3-1 fastball right down the middle. Adrianza hits it out of the ballpark for a grand slam and his 3rd home run of the season.
That is a big blow in this game, and now the Twins have a 5-2 lead. Got a wall side change here. Zach Duke coming on for the Minnesota Twins.
And Duke's fastball tops out at about 90 miles an hour. He's got a slider, he's got a cutter, he's got a curveball, he's got a changeup. He's got 4 different pitches, and he throws from a different arm slot to create some deception.
Tigers have Goodrum, Candelario, and Martinez. Nico looks at a strike, and the count is 0-2. Flared foul back out of play.
And Duke tried to wrap that breaking ball around the outside corner. But Nico Goodrum took a real good swing at it to spoil that pitch.
Iglesias has had a good night tonight for the Tigers. Couple of hits in the Tiger box. Duke began his major league career with the Pirates at the age of 22. That was back in '05. Spent 6 years with Pittsburgh. He's bounced around St. Louis, Washington, White Sox, among other teams. Nico rolls one to the shortstop. High throw! And safe at first is Goodrum. Well, Adrianza just hit the grand slam, but he's just thrown one away.
And Adrianza really took his time, and then he saw that Nico Goodrum was really running down that line, and then he had to hurry with the throw, and he didn't get his feet set. and he airmailed that throw over the head of Morrison. He was really deliberate after he fielded that ground ball. Nice job by Niko Goodrum hustling down the line.
Here is Jeimer Candelario. Bobby Wilson enters the game. Catching now for Minnesota. See if the Tigers take advantage of that error. Ball one. Odorizzi started for the Minnesota Twins. He threw 102 pitches in 5 innings. Presley a scoreless 6th, and now Duke here in the 7th.
Odorizzi was averaging 20 pitches per inning. Walk 4.
Trevor Hildenberger warming up.
He's been pitching some pretty good baseball lately.
Strike call, 2-2 on Candy. Jeimer with a walk. He is 0 for 2 otherwise, with Victor waiting on deck. Just got a piece of it. Tigers got both of their runs in the 4th. It was good enough until the grand slam by Adrianza in the 7th inning gave them a 5-2 lead. Swing and a miss, and Candelario flailing for strike 3. Well, take the afternoon off. The Tigers take on the Twins Thursday at 1:10. Great seats are still available. If you'd like tickets, go to Tigers.com. Detroit Tigers bringing you summer since 1901. Nice night for ball here tonight. The Tigers opening up this series with the Twins. Here's Martinez, who absolutely scalded a ball his last time up, but right at the first baseman.
And there was a runner on third, less than 2 outs when Victor hit that bullet right at Logan Morrison.
Yeah, Nico had led off the 5th with a double, went to 3rd on a ground out, and that line drive saved a run. The catch by Morrison at first base. You can see Duke, man, he just kind of tantalizes you on the outside corner, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's kind of changed his whole way of pitching. Sidearm, he'll quick pitch, high leg kick. Quite a bit of deception these days for Duke.
Chopper back up the middle, found a hole, base hit. And holding at second is Goodrum. The Tigers in business now with 2 on.
And nice job here by Victor, hitting it and where they weren't. Overshift on the infield. Wise decision by Niko Goodrum, down by 4.
That appears to be it for Duke.
Yeah, he's just a situational guy.
You've got the right-handed power of John Hicks coming up, then Jones, and that's going to be it. So Duke will face 3 batters. He'll depart. Tigers have 2 on. We'll be back. Strained bicep tendon. He is having an MRI to see the severity of that injury. Blaine Hardy pitched well before he departed, and of course Adrianza with the grand slam. Right now the difference, but the Tigers are threatening here. 2 on and 1 out. And the Twins going back to the bullpen. Trevor Hildenberger coming on for Minnesota in a wall-side windows pitching change.
Yeah, since April 8th, the Minnesota Twins have 4 members of their bullpen with sub-2 ERAs, and Hildenberger is one of those. Overall in the season, he checks in with a 2.53, 25 strikeouts against 7 base on balls.
Swing and a miss.
They got Duke throwing from down under from the left side. Now you got some funkiness coming from Hildenberger.
He became one of Minnesota's primary setup men from about early August to the end of last season. Gets a lot of ground balls. They are playing shifting to the left side. It sails away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hicks a walk, a signal, a run scored. Two and 1. Joe Jimenez beginning to tune up in the Tigers pen. Chopper left side of the infield. Adrianza has 1 play and he'll get the out. Runners move up now with 2 gone. He'll bring up Jacoby Jones. Jacoby 0 for 3. Goodrum now at third and Martinez at second. Tigers trying to take advantage of the leadoff error. Now the ground ball by Goodrum. And Jacoby looks at ball 1. Well, in an age, Rod, where you have nothing but 95, 96, 97 coming out of most bullpens, the last 2 guys we've seen are far from that.
Yeah, some deception, man. I mean, it's a different look. I mean, if you're not used to seeing these angles from Duke and also Hildenberger, it's not going to be a comfortable at bat. And I think that's by design for this bullpen. You got some guys out there like Presley, who we saw coming in throwing 97, 98. They've got Rodney at the back end of that bullpen. He's throwing 97, 98 with a good change. Then you have the deception from the left side and the right side. That's why the bullpen has been steady for about the last 6 weeks.
Swing and a miss on that sweeping breaking ball. 1 and 2.
I mean, Hildenberger, man, he is stepping all the way toward the Tigers dugout. And then when he's releasing the ball, he's basically releasing the ball from behind Jacoby Jones. And then you throw that frisbee up there. You're going to get some swings like this.
Hildenberger, a 22nd round pick, all the way to the big leagues.
Jacoby's got to fight to put it in play.
Shot foul. Well, here's what you're talking about in terms of this bullpen for the Twins. Not so good in April.
No, but they've really turned the corner since the calendar turned to May with a 2.86 ERA. And the opponent's batting average is 233. That 2.86 third best in the American League. It hasn't translated into a lot of wins for them, though, because, you know, other than Rosario and Escobar, a lot of the other guys have been slowed down offensively. That's base hit.
Slow roller toward third. Quick throw is thrown away. 2 runs will score. Jones on his way to second, and the Tigers are to within 1. Escobar airmailed it.
It's a big play here by the Tigers and a costly error by Minnesota.
Let's see if this is a single E5. It is. Base hit, error on Escobar. 2 errors in the inning. And an RBI.
We helped them out in the top half of the 7th inning with a couple of base on balls before the grand slam. And they've helped us out with a couple of errors.
Tying run now at second with 2 outs. Strike called in the inside corner. Iggy didn't like it. 0-2.
Infield playing, outfielders playing really shallow right now. And we told you that they got good arms on the corners in Kepler and Rosario.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out.
Did he really? Not Iglesias.
That'll end the inning. Tigers get a couple of runs, though. They've tightened it up. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire. Mario and Rod back here at the ballpark, and well, the Tigers continue to battle, although they did get some help from Minnesota.
Well, Tigers gave them some help as well in the top half of that 7th inning. That's just the way the games go. But the Tigers are never out of a game here at Comerica Park. They're 21-16 right here at home, and Minnesota is way less than 500 on the road. So stay tuned. Tigers have a legitimate chance of coming back in this game, partner.
And we gave you those numbers earlier tonight. The Twins are 3-13 in one-run ball games, but you really kind of feel bad for Blaine Hardy tonight because he did some marvelous work.
He really did. I mean, he was first pitch strike on just about every Minnesota Twins hitter that went up there. He threw lots of outstanding breaking balls. He mixed in a few fastballs, but by and large, lots of off-speed pitches thrown by Hardy as Dozier pops up to center field for the first out of the inning, and a lot of ground balls as well thrown by Blaine Hardy, just like his last 3 starts.
Sappold gets the first out of the inning. It'll bring up Rosario. Five runs on 4 hits for Minnesota. Tigers have 4 runs on 7 hits. Stunningly, though, the Tigers have left 10 men on base.
Oh, my goodness.
And the Twins only 1.
Well, there's the difference.
Rosario is 0 for 3.
And Rosario probably has as good a shot as anybody on their team to make the All-Star team this year. It'll be his first.
Rosario had a 3-homer game against Cleveland recently. Slice toward left center field. That'll get down. Base hit. Jones over to cut it off. It'll be a 1-out single for Rosario. Enhance your next game day experience with the MLB Ballpark app. Access and manage your tickets. Enjoy check-in offers, exclusive content, and much more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today. Here's Escobar.
You got to keep Rosario close. He has 5 steals this year. Been caught once.
Twins have their 5th hit of the game. Hicks at 30% this year. He's caught 3 of 10. Strike called on the outer edge.
Hicks made an outstanding throw in that Sunday game against Cleveland that beat the ball, beat Lindor to the bag, but Lindor with that a real good slide was called safe at second.
Oh, 0-2. It was the Escobar single in the 7th inning. That was the last hitter faced by Hardy. Oh, oh, that's brutal.
Yeah, it is.
Come on now.
Mike Winters.
Wow. Let the kid have a baseball. Way up top. 1-2. I can't believe he did that.
Just turned and sprinted back to his position, too.
Here, you want this? No, sir. He throws it away. Here's the 1-2. Foul back out of play. Oh, I thought it was a kid. I thought it was a child. It wasn't. It was an adult.
He had the little fingers working, didn't he? Just snatched it from him.
Now, I guess in defense of Mike Winters, there is the net there too.
That's probably the biggest complaint, though, of people with the net being there, that you can't get those foul balls like you used to.
They'll go to first and get the out there. Rosario moves up now with 2 outs.
But I would think they'd much rather be safe down the third and first base lines where they put those nets up.
Well, I would hope so. It's going to be it for Sappold. They'll have a runner at second. Sano coming up. And Gardy coming out, and he'll grab the baseball from Warwick. Another pitching change here in the 8th. We'll be back. Coming in out of the bullpen. He is the only Tiger so far. I love the GoPro, man. You hear the engine just humming. And Willie again used it tonight coming into the ballgame. He's the only Tiger that has taken advantage of the cart.
You got to love it, though. Willie said, I'm going to conserve my energy.
Got that right. And so Wilson will come on here and trot a couple of steps out to the mound.
I bet his buddy driving the car is glad somebody's sitting next to him, though. He just drive the jackets in. He got a companion now, and hey, Willie.
Here are the numbers on Wilson. He's in there to face Miguel Sano with a runner at second and 2 outs. 1-run ball game. Sano had a rip. 0-1. He walked as part of the 4-run 7th. Tigers are gone with Coleman, Soppold, and now Wilson. Good stop there by Hicks.
Here's one of those moves, partner, where analytics tell you that you should go get one right-hander and put the other right-hander in because Wilson has better numbers against Miguel Sano. Miguel just 1 for 6 with 2 strikeouts against Alex. Then you're hoping that the pitcher goes out and then does his job.
Time call now. Sano will step out. He missed 24 games earlier this year with a hamstring injury. Sano off the end of the bat, base hit into right field. They're going to send Rosario home, and he will come around to score. It's a broken bat single for Miguel Sano. In a 6-4 ball game.
And ball right off the end of the bat, and a 1-1 count cutter right over the head of Dixon Machado. No play for Castellanos to throw Rosario out.
Here is Kepler. Kepler 0 for 3. One ball and 1 strike. 5 of the 6 runs for the Twins coming in the last 2 innings. We're talking about the Tigers, 10 men left on base. They lead the league in left on base.
Do they?
Yeah, they're going to add to that tonight. 2-1. Ten lobs. Flared out of play, 2-2.
Yeah, pretty good swing there by Kepler. And got a 2-1 cut fastball at 86. Fouled it straight back.
High fly ball, fairly deep into right field, and Leonis Martin cuts in front to make the play. 1 run in. We go to the bottom of the 8th.
our fine feathered friend, now known as Rally Goose. And just how much has your world changed since then, Catherine?
It's been crazy. I've done interviews and people actually recognize me on the street. It's different from my normal life.
Absolutely, but the Tigers are down 2. We're going to the bottom of the 8th. Is it now Rally Goose time?
I think it is.
Let's give them what they want right now.
All right.
Wow. Oh, my goodness.
Trevor.
Come on, boys, get it going.
Trevor will do anything, man.
Rally Goose time.
Well, let's see if it works here in the bottom of the 8th. Tigers down by 2 now.
Let's go ahead and catch up and take over. There's a Rally Goose.
Machado, and then Martin, and then Castellanos. And Dixon looks at a strike on the outer edge. Hildenberger came on and gave up the single in the air on the throwaway by Escobar, which got the Tigers closer. It'll sail low, 2-2, and you can see just the reaction. A lot of these Tigers hitters, they're trying to stay back, Yeah,
and for the most part, everything that Hildenberger has thrown has been away from the right-handed batter, so he deceives you like he's going to come in, but mostly everything is away. That little two-seamer right there ended up right down the heart of the plate.
More action in the bullpen.
Paul Molitor going to try to mix and match this thing to a win, isn't he?
Taylor Rogers is now heating up. Of course, they have Fernando Rodney as their closer. Yeah, he's going through some arms here. Checked it. Did he go? Yes. He went around. So says Tim Timmons.
Let's take a look at the 7th inning. And the Tigers really helped out the Minnesota Twins. They walked a couple of batters in that frame before the Andre Anza grand slam. And the Tigers got some help as well in the bottom half of the 7th frame. An error by the shortstop, also an error by the third baseman with 2 outs off the bat of Jacoby Jones, and the Tigers were able to score a couple of runs.
Martin offers up a bunt but lets it sail wide, 1-0.
Martin hasn't bunted for a bunt base hit in a while, but he has done it a couple of times this year. It's a nice weapon to have when you have the kind of speed that Martin has.
2-0. Leonis a sac fly and a walk in this game. Otherwise, he is 0 for 2. Leonis trying to get on base here for Castellanos, who is on deck in a 2-run game. That's into shallow left field, and it's going to be run down by Rosario. 2 away. Well, the Tigers and Twins at it again tomorrow night. Join us at 6 for Tigers Live right here on the one and only Fox Sports Detroit. They'll bring up Castellanos now. Nicholas is 0 for 3 with a walk. That's how they play him defensively. High fly ball, shallow left. Rosario coming in. He is under it. And that will end the inning. 1-2-3 go the Tigers in the 8th.
You'll want to be with us for Tigers Live. We'll update the condition of Miguel Cabrera, who came out of tonight's game with a bicep strain. He was undergoing an MRI at last check, but it certainly didn't look good, Simo.
Well, it definitely didn't look good, Keats, and you just hate to see the big fella go through another injury, maybe another stint on the DL. He's so valuable, not only to the team, but to the city, and just not a good sign.
All right, the latest on Miguel Cabrera's injury situation from Ron Gardenhire and the Tigers training staff, and reaction from his teammates coming up on Tigers Live immediately after the conclusion of this one. But there's a ball game to win in the meantime, Mario.
There is indeed, Keats. Thank you. As we go to the 9th inning, Bobby Wilson will get his first at bat of the ball game. Wilson came on after they pinch hit for Mitch Garver. Morrison and then Adrianza will follow, facing Wilson. 2-run game here in the 9th inning. This is Wilson versus Wilson.
Yep. Bobby versus Alex.
Of course, you got to have a split screen with this kind of matchup. And a ball on the outside part of the plate. 2-1. Just missed. Wilson, former Tiger, albeit very briefly. 167 batting average. Fouled back out of play. Two more to go against the Twins. Then it's on the road into Chicago.
Long trip, 3-city trip, with a couple of days off in between. How come we couldn't have a day off in Chicago?
Yeah, no. Instead, it's Cincinnati and 1 in Cleveland. Little low and away. Now 3-2 on Wilson. Days off in Chicago, though, man, that carries a lot of risk.
Yeah, it does, but
a lot of risk.
Yeah, I agree.
Your credit card can blow up easily there. Now the 3-2 to right field, right at Castellanos. 1 out. Upcoming pitching matchup presented by Wallside Windows for game 2. Oh, Jose Barrios tomorrow.
And Barrios comes in with a 7-5 record, and he is really starting to turn the corner. 84 strikeouts, just 14 walks. I mean, 14 walks all year is really amazing for Barrios. Going up against Matthew Boyd, who has been outstanding himself this year.
Now, Boyd will not take a back seat in that matchup tomorrow.
He's been awfully good. They get it done in different ways, but nonetheless, the results are the same.
Logan Morrison, ground out, fly out, walk. Morrison walked with 2 outs in the 7th, setting up the grand slam by Adrianza. He was the final batter that Coleman faced, and then Soppold came in, allowed the grand slam. Two and 1.
And Logan Morrison, they call him Lomo.
And again, Morrison, all night, man, he's been shaking his head with Mike Malinsky.
Right.
He just can't believe some of the calls. 2-2. Whistled foul. You know, we chuckle at it, Rod, but if you're a hitter, you would obviously much rather be sitting 3-1 than 2-2.
There's no doubt about that. That's why you work so hard to get yourself in that favorable fastball count, and then you have the umpire call a borderline pitch. It frustrates you.
been a frustrating start for Morrison, who began the year 3 for 44, and at least average-wise has not been able to dig out of that hole.
There's Fernando. He'll get the 9th. He had a rocky outing on Sunday. Threw 34 pitches, only 17 strikes. He was out there for a long time.
And you saw the 3 hitters that he will face. It's going to be Goodrum, Candelario, and Martinez.
When Rodney entered the game, the score was 7-3. And when the game was over, it was 7-5 with the go-ahead runner in the batter's box. He's had a nice career, though. He really has.
Man, you look at his numbers, and it really is impressive.
He's carved out a nice career.
Took that one right out of the glove of Hicks.
And he's gotten it done with 2 pitches, a fastball and a changeup, just like Trevor Hoffman did for so many years.
Against the Tigers, he's given up just 2 earned runs in almost 19 innings. So his ERA against his former club is sub-1. Up top, 3-2 now on Logan Morrison. One out, nobody on. We're in the 9th. 2-run game, 6-4 Twins. Just going to turn into a 10-pitch at bat. Here comes number 10. High fly ball center field. It's got Martin on his horse. He's going to get there, though. 2 gone.
Martin loves playing center field here. He's got lots of room to roam out in center.
Here is Adrianza, the hitting hero for them tonight. Grand slam home run in the 7th. Adrianza playing shortstop these days for the Twins with the regular shortstop Polanco, who is out for 80 games, suspended for 80 games.
And Polanco might have a difficult time of getting his job back, and when he comes back from the suspension.
Did you read that stuff out of Seattle where Robinson Cano, when he comes back, is not guaranteed that he'll be playing second base?
I did hear that. That came from the general manager too, didn't it?
Yeah, Jerry DiPoto said it.
I mean, if you think about it, though, Mario, it kind of makes sense. I mean, that Seattle team right now, they're either tied for first place or they're in first place still out west. And when he comes back, if they're able to get to the postseason some kind of way, he's not going to be eligible for the postseason. So I guess they don't really want to disrupt what they got going on. I heard they're going to DH him, play him some first base, and move him all around.
Adrianza with a 2-out single.
But you wonder how Cano will take that. I guess he's got no choice.
He's got no choices, right? And when you think about it, D. Gordon has been playing some pretty good second base as well, so they've got a great option.
Yeah, Seattle half a game in first place as we speak over the Houston Astros coming into play today. And both teams with 42 wins. Houston with 1 more loss than Seattle. Seattle is a surprise team in the big leagues because, I mean, King Felix is not King Felix anymore.
No.
And really, they got James Paxton.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I mean, we've seen some guys that have been decent for them backing up Paxton, but not overpowering. As you said, Felix Hernandez is not nearly who he was.
No, he's not.
You got LeBlanc.
He's pitching well. He's pitching well.
1 ball, 1 strike. Wilson came on in the 8th inning, gave up a broken bat single to Sano, which scored a run. Here's the 1-1. 1-2 on Ryan Lamar. Filling in these days for Byron Buxton, who they're hoping will be back soon. He has been battling a broken toe this year.
Yeah, broken toe is not a good thing for someone like Buxton, someone that relies on the legs and the speed so heavily to do his job. He tried to play through it for a while. Somebody else was playing with a broken toe for a while, and then they went on the disabled list. Oh, D. Gordon.
Oh, right. We saw that.
Yeah, D. Gordon was playing with a broken toe as well. There's really nothing you can do for the broken toe, and eventually it just got too painful for him, and he had to go on the disabled list. And we're talking about the big grand slam that Adrianza hit in the 7th inning against Warwick Sapo. It was the first batter that Sapo faced.
Only the 3rd home run of the year for Adrianza. He is at first now with 2 outs. Swing and a miss. Lamar is out of there to end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. Last call for the Tigers coming up. You got Nico Goodrum, Jamer Candelario, and Victor Martinez. Hey, a little comeback Cats magic would look good here tonight. Tigers have had 5 walk-off wins. Pick up another. We are going to the bottom of the 9th. It's going to be Nico Goodrum to lead things off here for the Tigers. And the closer is on now for Minnesota.
No secrets with Fernando Rodney, who has converted 13 of 16 save chances. His ERA sits at 3.27, but Fernando, his fastball will start out right around 93, 94. He'll get all the way up to 98, and he's got a changeup, and that's about 84 to 85 miles an hour. So just 2 pitches for the longtime closer.
Goodrum looks at ball 1. Rodney now with the 1-0 pitch, and it's a strike called. 39 saves last year over in the National League with Arizona. As many as 48 in a season for Rodney.
Oh my goodness, that change piece, man, is still devastating. I mean, you're swinging at the arm speed because Rodney does have 95 in his back pocket, and he throws that changeup at about 82 with the same arm speed from the same arm slot. It is tough to pick up.
Fernando Rodney is 41 years old. A Tiger for 7 seasons and just outside 3-2.
And told you that Fernando had some issues with his command on Sunday. He walked a couple of batters. He threw 33 pitches. 17 of those were strikes. So a lot of balls.
Swing and a miss, and Nico is out, 1 away.
And you see the changeup grip here. It's a circle change. And when he lets it go, it's obvious a ball, but it's tough to lay off of for Nico.
Here is Candelario. Tigers need a base runner to bring the tying run to the plate. Jamer had a walk in the third. He is 0 for 3. Ball 2. Strike called Jamer on the inside corner. Rodney was a Tiger from 2002 to 2009. He didn't get to the big leagues until he was 25. His first year with Detroit. 2-2.
Rodney has gone on to have a brilliant career since leaving the Tigers. Had 70 saves with Detroit. Over 300 now in his career.
Got him. Strike 3. Candelario knew it, and there are 2 gone. Rodney has fanned the first 2. That'll bring a Victor. Single and 4 at bats for Martinez. Rodney fell behind Candelario 2-0, and then he painted the inside corner, painted the outside corner.
And then that change piece.
Man. One on Victor. Hicks would be next if Emard reaches. One and 2. (6-4) Twins lead. We're in the 9th. They scored 5 of their 6 runs in the 7th and 8th. High fly ball, center field should do it. Lamar is under it, and the Twins win the first game of the series. 6-4 as Rodney shoots his arrow. Now we'll send you to the Call-San Studios. John Keating, Craig Monroe with Tigers Live postgame.
All right, Mario, thank you. The 6-4 loss for the Tigers to the Minnesota Twins tonight, certainly disappointing, but the story that we'll be chasing through Tigers Live, what's the severity of the injury to Miguel Cabrera? The latest from Ron Gardenhire, and we'll take you inside the Tigers clubhouse in moments. Tigers Live comes your way on this Tuesday evening.